Can I first of all congratulate you on your determination and your fortitude in coming out here today in this appalling weather, but it's an indication of your determination to resist what this council would propose. Now, the mass mobilisations of the 20th of October in Glasgow, in Belfast and in London brought together trade unionists, people from the communities and their families to fight against the austerity measures that this UK government is putting forward. And even yesterday, when Osborne had the chance to reverse some of these decisions, he did not take that. And UNISON has argued that the time is now for this government to turn around the worst of its austerity measures. And UNISON has identified billions of pounds that would allow the government to do that. Somewhere in the region of £35 billion has been returned by the Bank of England to the Treasury this year and over next year. And that money could have been used in addition to the paltry sum that he did make available yesterday. We believe that it's important to help fund vital services to local communities. The impact of their cuts so far has seen somewhere in the region of 500,000 jobs lost across the United Kingdom. In Scotland alone, 30,000 jobs have gone from the public services. And we know that that's only the start. There's probably in the estimates of somewhere in the region of 250,000 jobs are going to go, because we know that we're only a quarter of the way through the UK government's austerity programme. One of the impacts of this, of course, is long-term youth unemployment. And another generation have been put on the scrap heap as a result of what Scottish Government and UK Government are doing. A few weeks ago, Osborne said in his discussions with the IMF, and I'm quoting, "We will stick with the deficit reduction plan we've set out. It's the rock of stability on which the economy is built." Well, he might have listened to some other words. Stability itself is not enough. After all, the graveyards are pretty stable places. Now, who said that? Well, he did in 2007, so it's time he started listening to his own advice. Because we're in that graveyard that he predicted, burying the hopes of another generation. And what's behind their strategy makes no sense. Well, it makes no sense unless you're a Tory intent on dismantling public services for purely ideological reasons and smashing a welfare state which generations of consensus since the Second World War have taken to build. And they're intent on destroying all of that. Amongst others, we're seeing North Lanarkshire Council announcing their proposals of upwards of £73 million. And it's clear from the areas that they're looking at that their plans could have a major effect on our members, their jobs and services that are vital to local communities. And the employees that are being identified as potential redundancies are the very employees which the Council has thanked for assisting in some of the economy measures that they've implemented over the last couple of years. And local authorities are seeing budgets continue to be squeezed as the demand for services is steadily rising. Now, the cuts that we're facing in North Lanarkshire and across the United Kingdom are not about austerity measures to meet an economic problem, but about politics. About a politics that hates public services and loves to profit from privatisation. A politics that sees a workforce that's engaged in caring and educating, not as something to be celebrated, but as something, as a problem to be tackled. And the Scottish Government don't get off scot-free either. The Scottish Government has allocated severely constrained allocations to local authorities. However, it does have a choice. It might be a difficult choice. It might be an expensive choice, but there is a choice nonetheless. And that is, it could remove the council tax freeze and allow local authorities additional expending powers. But we say that if this council or any other council moves to a proposal for compulsory redundancies in the workforce, we will fight that with a ballot for industrial action if they consider compulsory redundancies at all. The statistics that we were looking at in October and November this year have given us further evidence of severely squeezed wages, and research tells us that workers are going to have to wait for about another 9 or 10 years to get back to the earnings levels that they enjoyed in 2009. And the modest increase, as it's called, that's being proposed by COSLA and the councils is nowhere enough to meet the freezes that people have faced over the last 3 years as fuel prices and the shopping bill has increased. So we say to North Lanarkshire Council, and we say to any other council in Scotland and to the Scottish Government, there is an alternative. That you're out here today is an indication that we are prepared to fight for that alternative. I'm pleased that we can welcome onto your demonstration today some of the councillors from this authority. And we say to them and their colleagues, it's not their job to manage what Scottish Government and UK Government are proposing. It is their job to champion their local communities as you have championed the local community out here today. Thanks very much for turning up. We will continue to oppose what this council is proposing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, mate. That's very inspiring.